This video I'm going to finally reveal my Tinder profile transformation. So you're going to get to see what my profile was like when I first joined Tinder around 2014, back when I had no idea what I was doing, compared to what my profile looks like today. And you guys are going to see a massive transformation. And this is going to give you a very clear blueprint of what you need to do if you want to level up your own profile as well. In this video, I'm not only going to reveal what my Tinder profile currently looks like, photo, bio, and everything, but I'm also going to show you how I progressively leveled up my profile over time. You're going to see 4 different stages of my profile. You're going to see what it was like when I first joined Tinder about a decade ago, back when it used to absolutely suck, compared to what it is today, and a few different variations in between. So let's start off when I first joined Tinder. This was probably around 2014. And this was my first photo. I mean, this is like literally everything you should probably not do in a Tinder photo, right? It's a selfie. The quality is really poor. This is like an iPhone -20. It's like my shirt is wrinkly. I just have a weird facial expression. I look like I'm uncomfortable. This was a selfie in Vegas. This was probably around 2014. This was my second photo. So this is me holding a dog belonging to some girl that I hooked up with. Like the lighting is poor. The background looks kind of like dark and depressing. It looks like I'm in some like dungeon or something like that. The dog looks kind of unhappy to be in the photo. My outfit isn't really that great. My haircut is a little bit of a mess, right? So again, not the best photo. Again, this was probably 2014, maybe 2015. And then we have my last photo. So this is a photo of me with a few girls, because I thought you need to have a social proof photo like everyone talked about back in those days. So I thought I needed to have a photo with friends. And so again, this photo is not terrible. It's just the girls aren't particularly that attractive. The quality is poor. And also I have a massive, massive baby face, right? Again, this is when I was about 24. I might have had one more photo that I don't remember, but that's generally the gist of this. And as you can imagine, with this profile, I really wasn't getting much results. I did get laid a few times. So again, this was around 2014. So at this point, the vast majority of the girls I had slept with were from cold approach, right? I was really getting into game and pickup, but I wasn't having really much results from online dating, right? And I thought online dating was basically a wash. It wasn't until I had multiple friends who were like, hey man, no, I'm actually getting girls consistently over my house from Tinder. And you need to improve your photos. You need to get like more professional quality photos, and you can get that too, until I realized that Tinder was an untapped gold mine. In 2015, 2016, that was the golden years of Tinder, at least when it comes to the US. So that was the first version of my, what I would call Mark 1 of my profile. I would say this is maybe like a 2.5 or 3 out of 10, right? Very poor profile, especially nowadays. It's not going to get you anything. Now we go on to stage 2, and this is where you see a massive transformation. This was only about a year and a half, 2 years later. This is probably around 2015, right? And even though I look largely the same, these photos are way better. The first one was a professional photo taken with a nice camera. This was a photographer chick I was hooking up with back when I lived in LA. I look really good in this photo. My hair, for some reason, looks super blonde, which it not really is in real life. I guess it's just the way the sun was hitting it. So again, very solid photo. I look kind of intense, right? It's kind of like, yeah, this guy's gonna fuck the shit out of me. Second photo is a motorcycle photo. So this is funny. The story for this is pretty, hilarious. I was doing a photo shoot with a photographer, and I wanted to get like an activity photo. So there was this dude who I saw who had like a badass motorcycle. So I just knocked on his door, and I was like, hey man, I really love your bike. Can I take a photo on it? And you'd be surprised how much people are willing to let you do if you have the courage to ask and you're just polite. So we got that photo. Here's a photo of me playing tennis. So at this point, I'm getting in slightly better shape. I'm still pretty skinny. At this point, I'm like maybe 155, 160 pounds. But the only thing that sucks about this photo is the quality is a little poor. And then we have this photo. This is actually, I look pretty good in this. The only downside is I'm like super duper skinny. At this point, I think I'm like, this is a year before that. So I think I was 145, 150 pounds when this was taken. But it actually came out really good. And this was taken on a professional camera. And of course, a photo of my previous dog. So this was before Rhaegar was even born. This is Chester. He passed away, I think, around 2018. But yeah, this was the first dog that we had, my family got. Right? So I was always big on the dog photos. But take a look at what my bio was. Imagine this scenario. I push you against the wall and kiss you passionately, sucking on your nipples nice and slow until you are nice and wet. You are begging me to just shove it in, but instead I mercilessly tease you with my lips. Finally, when you can't take it anymore, I slide inside of you, your back arched, my hand pulling on your hair. You submit as I take you every which way. P.S. multiple orgasm training included. And this bio did really, really well. It was very polarizing. A lot of girls did not like it, and they would swipe left, or they would match with me just to tell me how much of a douchebag I was. And sometimes I'd even hook up with those girls once in a while. But some girls would really, really love this bio, and they'd be like, oh my God, your bio got me so turned on. When can we meet? And I always say you want to be very polarizing. You do not want to play it safe on dating apps because every other guy's playing it safe. I would rather just be very, make a very strong impression and piss a lot of girls off and turn some girls on, then make a very mild impression, just like have every girl not really care that much about your profile. And this definitely did a good job of being polarizing. Unfortunately, you cannot have a bio like this on Tinder nowadays, so don't even try it. Around 2018, 2019, when the whole SJW PC thing was happening, they started banning bios that were too sexual. So unfortunately, you can't do this anymore, and that's a shame because I could have just kept improving on it, making it even better. And yeah, I love this bio, but yeah, unfortunately, you can't do it because of the fucking politically correct BS. I would say that this profile overall was about a 5.5, 6 out of 10. But because Tinder was a lot easier around 2015, 2016, so when we adjusted for inflation, this would probably be like kind of like an 8 out of 10 by today's standards or whatever, the reverse of that. So yeah, so there we go, we have that. Now let's move on to my more recent variation. So this is around 2020. Because I didn't get Rhaegar until 2020, so yeah, this could not have been any earlier than 2020. And this is probably very similar to what my profile looks like today, with some variations you're gonna see, because this is only Mark III. So this profile is, you can see a massive transformation. Here's my first photo, taken by a professional camera. At this point, I have a little bit more muscle. I kind of just look like I have better fashion. I have some tattoos. I have some facial hair, right? I just look more mature. Here we have the shirtless selfie, which I think is actually important to have. If you can't have the 50 Shades of Grey bio, because it is important to be polarizing and to screen. I don't want girls who are just like want chat buddies. I don't want girls who are looking for relationships. I want girls who are just down to hook up, down to have some fun. And that's how I'm gonna search for those girls. And a lot of girls are gonna look at this photo and they're gonna be like, this guy's a douchebag on left swipe. That's okay. What I want are the girls who are gonna look at this and be like, damn, this guy has a sexy ass fucking body. Let me see what he's all about, right? And this is, again, at this point, I'm like 170 pounds. I put on a good amount of muscle. I have some tattoos, right? I have some facial here. Here we have the next photo. This was taken in Medellin. This is a really solid photo. So here we have the next one. This is me pouring wine. The quality is a little bit poor, but again, I'm dressed up nice. I look good. Solid photo. Here we have a motorcycle photo. Again, so I think this motorcycle photo is better than the previous one I had for, whatever, 2 versions ago. And here's my bio. 6'0", Miami. My passion is traveling around the world and seductively whispering Russian in your ear. Strengths, being dominant, BDSM, cracking inappropriate jokes, and cuddling. Weaknesses, great ass and accents. And I can't tell you how many times I've had girls just message me about something relating to this bio. Oh my God, how do you make Russian sexy? Oh my God, what's the favorite place you've traveled to? Or, ooh, how dominant are you? What kind of BDSM are you into? Are you really cuddler? Oh, I think I have one of your weaknesses, right? So I really like this bio, given the fact that you can't really have a super sexual bio anymore, because it still gives the girl a lot of things that are, that can hook her and that can get her attention. And also it is somewhat sexual, so it's still going to screen out the girls who are just looking for marriage or whatever, right? So this is a pretty solid bio. The only thing that's different nowadays, I got this line from Andy from Kill Your Inner Loser. So I have a PS, and it says that blindfolds are way more fun than turning the lights off. So this is a nice little, BDSM reference. And so this is Mark III, and this is basically somewhat similar to what my profile is now. There's some variations though. So this is, I'm gonna show you now what my profile looks like at this very second today. And the only thing that's different is, I was able to get some even higher quality photos. They were taken by like a $3,000 camera. And also, so for Mark III, which is basically, what you saw before, I didn't know about FaceApp, and FaceApp can definitely be a massive tool. People always accuse me the only reason you can get dates is because you use FaceApp. But 99% of the girls I met off Tinder were before I even knew what FaceApp was, or at the very least before I knew how to use it, right? So I've only started using FaceApp fairly recently, about within the last year. But you can see it makes a big difference. So here we have my first photo now, and this is just a great photo. I mean, the original on this is really solid too, but when you combine the fact that this is taken by a really good camera with really good lighting, really good, essentially everything, fashion's on point, facial hair is on point, just everything about this photo is on point, and you combine with FaceApp, this photo is really, really solid. That hooks really hard. I still have the shirtless selfie. I think that's important to have in there, again, to screen out the girls who are looking for, relationships, or just looking to just chat with a nice guy kind of see online, right? So I keep that in there. Here we have this photo, and this is just a badass photo. This could essentially be my main photo too, and you can make an argument for why this might be actually a better main photo because it's technically an activity photo. Also, you know, I just have this like kind of like nice brooding look. So yeah, like you don't want to be like a jackass and smiling on like Tinder photos. Like, match with me, right? You want to kind of look like a little bit mysterious, and that's the vibe this photo gives off. Here we have, again, we're using the barbecue photo. Here we have the wine photo, and here we have a photo of Rhaegar. And I found that's actually important to use because I think that without this, my profile gives a little bit of a douchey vibe. You know, the shirtless photo, the bio, it kind of gives off a little bit of like a fuckboy vibe. And I think it's important to counterbalance that with something that shows that you're like kind of have a good sense of humor, you're vulnerable. And this Rhaegar photo, basically Rhaegar dressed up as a photographer, really does the trick. So a lot of girls will be like, yeah, I kind of thought you were a douchebag, but then I saw your last photo and decided to give you a shot, and you turned out to be pretty cool, right? And you can see this, the profile I would say is a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing that can make this profile better is if I had something like really crazy, like, I don't know, a photo of me hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio, or like massive social proof, me hanging out with like a bunch of models, and actually using my Instagram to provide social proof, because I always link my Instagram in the bio or link it in the Tinder, right? And girls can see that I have a lot of followers. I have photos of me speaking at events, you know, doing podcasts, so that gives me a good amount of social proof there. But again, if I had some crazy photo of like me and a bunch of models or something like that, doing something really badass that 99.9% of the population doesn't do, I think that would take this profile a 10 out of 10, right? But very few guys have a profile that's a 10 out of 10. But again, this is a very solid profile that gives me a lot of matches. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. If you want to see more practical, down-to-earth advice like this, then make sure you guys smash the like button, hit subscribe, and click that bell for notification, and share this video with a few friends. Also, if you want me to evaluate your Tinder profile, we're going to be doing a free webinar this Sunday at 8 p.m. Link in the description. Just have to pre-register, and I'm going to be evaluating certain people's Tinder profiles, so you can get that done, and that will help you take your results to the next level. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and until next time.